Need a theme song or something like that. It is 4 o'clock. It is 4 o'clock. Welcome to YouTube Live. Yeah. Here we go. YouTube Live. YouTube Live. YouTube Live. YouTube Live. Yeah. YouTube Live. YouTube Live. Yeah. YouTube Live. YouTube Live. Here we go. Yeah. YouTube Live. YouTube Live. Yeah. YouTube Live. YouTube Live. Yeah. Here we go. Oh, that worked out really well last week. It failed miserably this week. I don't want to put more holes in the wall, but I couldn't get it to go. Oh, we won't have our flag this week, apparently. Oh, we're off to a great start already, aren't we? This is wonderful. Oh, it's so good to see you guys again this week. I hope we get some people to log on, even though it's Mother's Day. Thank you for prioritizing us over your mother. Not really. Hopefully you guys are spoiling her like as soon as this ends, having like a big dinner where you tell her how much you love her and appreciate her, and you've just been so good all day. I'm sure that's what's actually going on. So happy Mother's Day to you all. As people start to log on and everything, I want you to share what's been going on with you this past week. What have you been up to? What are some of the highlights? What are some different ways that you saw God working this past week? I had a good week. Again, it's hard to remember, but I washed my car this week. That was a really big highlight, strangely enough. I used to love washing my car. I would do it like multiple times a week, like 3 or 4 times a week in the summer when I was in high school, but I haven't had a house with a hose for a long time, and I have one of those now. So I use this time to do that. What else happened this past week? Still playing Pokemon Go. Tell John DeHart if Gabby's one of the people on here that I'm still playing. I got my first Mewtwo. That was very impressive. And another dragony thing that I don't know how to pronounce, but it's been kicking butt in battles. So, been doing that. Oh, I talked to my parents yesterday, and it was really sweet. I've told you guys about my nieces and nephews before and how close I am with them. And they had the whole family over and everything, and my dad told them that we weren't coming home for 4th of July this year, because that used to be like our family tradition to go home over 4th of July, and this year we're not going over 4th of July, but we're going to go for Labor Day weekend, hopefully. And my niece and nephew were so upset that they started crying because they love us so much, and they were going to miss me and Elin. But we're going, so they'll be fine. They'll get over it. What else happened? Oh, we had to make a bunch of email cards for our family because, like I said, Mother's Day. Make sure you get on that. If you haven't yet, I guess you still have time. Maybe start working on a card now. But we also sent out e-cards for our sisters, because my sister Steph, she's the middle one, the middle child, the black sheep, Steph graduated with her master's degree in education. So she's been working on that for a while, and I'm super proud of her, and that's such a big thing, especially doing it as a single mom, getting her master's degree. That's awesome. So I'm proud of you, Steph, who's not watching. And Elin's sister, Kira, little sister, graduated from North Carolina School of the Arts. She is a, set design major. So she graduated from there, and that was super exciting. It was sad that they didn't get to do their all-out graduation and all that, but proud of them. So for those of you who are joining us, make sure that you send out your whatchamacallit, your highlights of the week. Let us know what's been going on. Other things. Oh, Elin and I went out our adventure. We went to Shake Shack yesterday. We drove all the way to Cary. It was like 35-minute drive just to get a burger and fries, which were like pretty good. Not out of this world, but good. We don't really make fries at home, so there we go. It was worth it. Yeah, that's basically it. I think that was basically our week. Let's see here. How many people we got? We only got a few people in here, so I'm actually going to awkwardly text a few people right now to make sure that they don't forget, because I know who usually is here, and they're not here, and we need them for games. Who else? And we'll start with those people, because is it really exciting watching me text? I kind of doubt it. But stay on there. We'll get some more people on so that we can play some games. I also learn every week that I'm a really bad multitasker. So I cannot do two things at once, especially if one of them involves writing. So yeah, this is really hard for me, but I'm working on it. All right, let's go into some announcements real quick. What do we got going on this week? We've got some new stuff, which is exciting. Let's see here. We got, hey, that's not supposed to do that. Oh yeah, I did the thing that I did last time. Gotta do that. Haha. I'm fancy. So, we do have some new things. Confirmation is gone. What? Crazy. Not like gone forever, but you know what I mean. We're not meeting anymore digitally. Hopefully we'll get to meet together soon. You guys get the little, whatchamacallit, Axe, or a little sneak peek that we are moving from Luke to Axe. So that's super exciting. We got some, oh, Ryan, you've been here just quietly. I'm glad that you're here. Text some people to get on, because the games won't be fun if it's just you and mystery person who also isn't talking. And what we're doing today for youth group is kind of engagement-y. So I was hoping for a lot of people. Probably a bad choice to do that on Mother's Day. But we'll plow ahead anyway. So yeah, Axe is our little sneak peek. We will still be doing Devos. And ooh, yay, JC is the other mystery person. Hey, JC. Oh, that was our other sneak peek thing. JC and Ryan get to know our next senior session is going to be Joshua Facello. Look how little and cute Joshua was. Peace. He's doing the Gabby. What if Josh actually originated the Gabby? Actually, that's Gabby's shoulder. And I'm pretty sure she's still doing it. So that's pretty funny. All right. Let's see here. Oh, our other fun thing, little reminder, if you haven't watched it yet, our talent show we did for all the church people. Okay. I'm doing a really bad job with our tech stuff so far. Ryan's probably shaking his head right now, because I've been putting up the little things and you guys have not seen the little things. So there we go. There's the thing that says Axe Devo. And here's cute little Josh with Gabby's shoulder right there. There's Josh. All right. I promise I'm going to get back with the program here in a moment. So, those are big things. Oh, and the talent show thing was right there. So Molly played the flute. Layla played her clarinet. Emma tap danced. I cooked. If you missed out on that, really great recipe. I'm way at the end. You can basically skip everybody else as long as you get to the very end. Take a little. This is me looking weird with technology and hoping that things get back on it. Let's see here. All right, I think we are back on it and doing all right. Hey, there's my little test screen. I can see myself on my iPad, so hopefully you guys can see me here too. Woohoo! All right, so I think we are back up and at 'em. Let's see. All right, here we go. So we are ready to play Pictionary, I think. I hope. Here we go. So whoever is on here, hopefully it's a lot of you. Here we go. We're ready. I'm ready. I hope you're ready. Okay. Well, and we're going to start with a hard one. You guys get to see my beautiful skills again. Oh, I went with the thinner pencil this time, but now like the eyeballs are tiny. So let's see here. You can see my, guess what my beautiful thing is. It started with a kind of difficult one. We'll see how that goes. Have no guesses so far. I don't know how to draw this thing any better than that. Let's see here. We'll do a little like opposite thing. This person is different from this person. Maybe. All right, I'm gonna go on down. And then, oh, you guys can't even hear me. This is lame. Maybe if I type it. Ha! All right. All right, we're back now, though. Are we back now? Yeah, you guys can see the t-shirt. I can see me. All right, I guess we're going to keep going. I was going to pause. But it's probably, yeah, we still got the same amount of people, so there we go. I guess we're back. We'll keep going. I don't know what's happening. It may just be my internet going out randomly, but I thought I fixed that problem. So there we go. We'll do another one. That was a pocket. Oh, you didn't get the answer for the first one either? The first one was bald, and Ryan won that. So there we go. Ryan, you get the point for that. That one was supposed to be pocket, and I thought I did a great job. But nobody was there to guess it, really, so that's not good. All right, we're shuffling again to try to get one of the easier ones up there. I said one of the easier ones up there. Come on. All right. Next one. This one should be really easy. At least I'm hoping for it. Kite. Nailed it, JC. I'm glad you're still with us, JC. I wasn't sure how well people would be able to stick through it. Okay, here's another good one. I'm kind of proud of that. That's pretty good. That's better than I expected. Oh, this one is not. I should not try to talk and draw at the same time. I'm way better. There we go. Yeah, JC's on a roll. I love it. All right. Here we go. Oh, this kind of makes me sad. I guess that was a hint, and I'm not supposed to really give a hint, but there we go. That's as best as I can do. I guess I can make this thicker, but there we go. Oh, I need some guesses, guys, because I don't know if it's going to get any better than that. I could, like, try to redraw the same thing. Oh, there we go. Broom. Yeah, it made me sad because it reminded me that we missed Broom Ball. So sad. Ooh, this one I think I can actually do. Oh, that's probably the worst thing I could have said. All right, OBS reconnected. Hey, am I back? I'm back. Okay. So if the problem was my internet, we're about to find out because I am actually using my hotspot now. That's how bad it is. So we may be a little bit laggy here, but we are going off my phone hotspot because that's all I can think of to do. Let's see how many of you are still there. JC, are you still here with us? We'll see how long we can keep this going off my phone. All right. Did you guys see my beautiful drawing? Because it was really good. I think it stopped like right when we were getting to the best drawing in the world. So we're gonna like redraw that because of my incredible talent. Yay, JC's still here. And I don't know why my mouse does that, but you know what? We'll deal with it. Isn't that beautiful? So good. It is an elephant. Oh! You went for a tree? That's really bad on my part. All right. Here we go. We're going to go Abraham Lincoln style. I'm guessing you guys get that awful, terrible drawing. All right, here's another one. Ooh. We're going to use a previous drawing. Ooh, it was hat. JC gets it. Nicely done. So we're going back to this guy. And then, ooh, we getting fancy. Oh, yeah. I don't know why my mouse keeps cutting out, but I'm assuming you guys are getting that. So I'm going to start deleting already just because that was such a good picture. I know you're going to get it. The answer was Zoo. Good job. JC got that one. Good job, JC. All right. Next one. Let's see here. Do you like my sound effects? Do other people do sound effects while they're drawing? Because I do. I'm very confident about this one as well. I have faith in you guys. Close. Stamp is it. Good job, Brian. This is going to be close. You guys are neck and neck. All right, we got 3 more. And they're 3 kind of difficult ones, so we'll see how this goes. All right. Yes, that is a person. Oh, this is bad. I think you guys will get it, but this is not good. That's the best I got. I hope you guys can get it from there, because that's all I can do. Skateboard, nailed it. Whoop. All right, going backwards. 2 more. Tie game. Oh, what if it ends in a tie? That would be terrible. JC should get this one, which is, I guess, a little bit of a hint, but it's the best I can do. Oh, get a little thing there, and a little thing there, and I hope you guys can get it from there, because that's the closest we got. Who's gonna get this one first? It is Marshmallow, not a marshmallow. Oh, JC got it. It is drum. Good job. Android. Okay, this one's kind of difficult too. So you guys, tie game. This is it for all the marbles. We'll see who gets it. It's going to be close. Ryan's going for the just rapid fire guessing. Oh, Ryan got it. It was Zipper. Oh, okay. All right. Good job, everybody. All right. Let's see here. All right. So that's all we got for Pictionary. Got some good feedback that people liked doing the BuzzFeed quizzes last time. So I've got 2 more BuzzFeed quizzes for us. Let's see if you got, where is it? Here we go. You guys don't need to see what I'm getting from Home Depot. All right, so first one we're gonna do is everyone is 50% popular Disney character and 50% unpopular Disney character. And we will see how this goes. So pick your favorite underrated Disney character. And I like that Ryan is one of the few people here for this one, since you probably don't know any of the characters in here. Oh, this is good. But let's see here. Put your favorite of these 4. So your favorite underrated Disney character. My vote would definitely easily be Pacha from Emperor's New Groove. Turk is pretty cool too, though. But put your favorite of those 4 in there, and then we'll pick them. I get a vote too, right? Should I get a vote? I should get a vote. I'm getting a vote. Ha! All right, so this is the only one Ryan knows is from Moana, the grandma. JC, you got input on this one? Turk. Okay, Turk was my second choice, so let's go Turk. All right, so Turk is our choice there. Favorite quality of yours? Intelligence, humor, loyalty, thoughtfulness. And I think it doesn't. Oh, it actually has to be one that you have. So like I have all of these. My favorite quality, actually thoughtfulness. I'm gonna go with thoughtfulness would be my vote, but it's all of us together we're figuring out. So which of those 4 is the favorite quality that you do have, not just like one that you wish you have? Because this quiz is gonna tell us who we are. So, we gotta pick those. So what do you guys think? Intelligence, humor, loyalty, thoughtfulness. All of the above. You can't pick all of the above. I gotta pick one. Thoughtfulness? Okay. This is just gonna be like me and JC. Because if 2 people agree, that's gotta be the one. All right. Favorite Disney furry companion. We got Little Brother from Mulan, who I don't remember at all. I just remember the cricket and the dragon, played by Eddie Murphy. Raja, of course. Pegasus from Hercules. Pua from Moana. I don't think he had a big role, but I'm going Pua. I really like the little pig. What do you guys think? Who's your vote? All right, we got the 2. That's all we need. Pua it is from Moana. Ryan, it cracks me up that we picked the one week where you're one of the only people playing. All right, the vice that applies to you the most. All right, so are you the most impatient, jealous, angry, or arrogant? Yeah, we all went with Pua. That's good. I'm going to go with, mine would be impatience, for sure. I don't get very jealous. I have a little outburst of anger, but they're almost always due to impatience. And arrogance, I guess I did say on like 2 questions ago that I have all of them, so maybe that one a little bit. Ryan agrees with impatience. All right, we're going impatience, but JC still put in your thing. All right, impatience it is. All right, favorite ice cream flavor: Rocky Road, mint chip, vanilla, or cookies and cream. The correct answer is cookies and cream here. If the Alversons were here, they would be screaming that there's no chocolate. But they're not, so we get to pick whatever we want. So put in your fave. All right. Rocky Road, mint chip, vanilla, cookies and cream. All right, cookies and cream. Oh, JC, I am sorry, but you are so outvoted there. Cookies and cream is just vanilla, but you put cookies in it. It makes it so much better. What type of people annoy you the most? Liars, judgmental people, willfully ignorant people, or backstabbers? Ugh, I don't know. That's tough. I mean, I don't like any of those characteristics, which annoys me the most. I feel like backstabbers would like make me mad. That's more than annoying. Kind of same with liars. I don't know. All of the above. Ryan, you can't do all of the above, especially when there's only when I'm indecisive. I guess JC just gets to pick. Maybe this one annoys me the most, the willfully ignorant people. Yeah, we'll go with that. Would be my vote probably, but I need a real vote from one of you two. Let's get our voting in. All right, I guess we're gonna go willfully ignorant. I think we can go back and change it, but I'm not gonna sit on that one forever. All right, pick your polarizing food: avocado, pineapple pizza, sushi, or yogurt. I like all of these things. I didn't know yogurt was polarizing. That's weird, but I like all these things. Okay, JC says judgmental, so we're gonna go back and select judgmental. Polarizing food: avocado, pineapple pizza. Yeah. I'm guessing that since you went all caps, that was strong, and I agree with that. Actually, my go-to: chicken, pineapple, and jalapenos. So good, except like the last 2 or 3 times we got it from Papa John's, they left off the jalapenos. Not nearly as good. You can't just do that. I hope JC like hates pineapple pizza and is really mad right now. Not really. What's a task you actually enjoy? This one for me is easy. Cooking. Oh, well, I like driving too, but not as much as I love cooking. So that's my obvious choice. The first two are absolutely not. Going for a run. Yeah, JC likes pineapple pizza too. Oh, I love it. When we get back together, we need to make sure that pineapple pizza is at our first youth event back. That would be amazing. All right, we got our 2 choices. That's all we need. But I still want to know yours, JC. Apparently, your internet is a little further behind ours, but that's okay. Going for a run. Oh, yeah. Well, I'm glad Michaela's not here if it would make us pick going for a run. I miss you, Michaela. All right. Disney villain you like the most. Oh, this is hard. Hades, Yzma, Gaston, and Scar. Ryan's seen Lion King now. Yes. Oh, that's amazing. All right. These 3 are 3 of my favorites. Yzma is hilarious. Gaston just has a great song. Scar has a great song, and he's like actually villainous. I think I would go Scar. Ryan, you've never seen Beauty and the Beast either? You don't know Gaston? Oh, Caleb was Gaston in the school musical at Smith last year. Okay, we're going Scar. Yes, Scar's so good. Which quality do you think is most important in a sidekick? Listening skills, bravery, adaptability, positive mindset. I like adaptability. That's a great one. For a sidekick, like, since they're not the ones making decisions and they're like gotta follow the leader or whatever, I guess like you have to listen in order to know how to adapt, but you gotta adapt to the guy you're following. I like that one. But Ryan goes listening. That's good too. So we need JC to be our tiebreaker here. Yeah, I guess so. I'm still a little sad about Yzma. Yzma's so good. Oh, that was one of the other things. One of the reasons I could only watch like the first 5 minutes of the live Lion King thing because they changed Scar's lines and like I knew each and every one by heart. I couldn't deal with it being changed up. All right. We'll put listening skills until JC's. Oh, that was the last one. We are Judy Hopps and Mrs. Hayesgawa. I have no idea who that is. I only watched Lilo and Stitch once. I know Judy Hopps though. Love me some Judy Hopps. Popular Disney character, and oh, they're both Disney. Duh. That's pretty good. So I don't know how to feel about this, and I'm sure Ryan doesn't either. But Ryan, you've seen Zootopia, right? Pretty sure you've seen Zootopia. All right, so that was that one. All right, and this one Grace actually sent in, and now Grace isn't here. I don't know why. So she sent this in. If your parents were Elon Musk and Grimes, what would they name you? I don't know if you guys saw, but they named their kid this week. And it's like X and then like the AE together thing and randomness. So we'll see here. Which of these planets would you colonize? I was really glad that Grace sent us this. So which planets would you colonize? JC, what's Zootopia? Oh no, you missed out. It's good. Zootopia, it's not that old. It came out maybe like 3 or 4 years ago, something like that. But it's got like, well, Hopps is the main character, and then a fox, and I don't know how to explain it. It's good. It's animals. I mean, it's Disney. It's good. Lots of like race issues, undertones, but like they did it really well. It's a good one. But I need you guys to tell me which planet you would colonize. Mars, Uranus, Jupiter, Neptune, Saturn, Mercury. Like, I assume like we'll be able to actually colonize it. Or I feel like Mars is definitely the safe choice. Okay, we're gonna play it safe. All right, we'll play it safe. I was thinking Jupiter because of the cool spot. That was always my favorite when I was a little kid. Saturn's got the rings. All right, we're going Mars. All right, pick a Grimes song to listen to for the next 24 hours. I have no idea who Grimes is. So there's that. That one looks nice and creepy. All of these look somewhat terrifying. So there's that. I would just be randomly picking. So whichever of you puts one in first. Exactly. Apparently it's Elon Musk's wife or life partner or something. So let's randomly pick one. Oblivion looks like the least scary. Actually, that one doesn't look scary. Reality. I'm going to click on that one until you guys tell me different. Pick an object to launch into the abyss. Fire extinguisher, Oreo cookie, cat litter, robot vacuum, your baby teeth, or Mamma Mia on Blu-ray. So we're just launching things into the abyss for fun. Well, WALL-E does the fire extinguisher thing. I want to eat the cookies. That seems kind of pointless. Sure, I feel like cat litter or your baby teeth have to be the right answer. Like, cat litter would be kind of fun. That would probably be my pick. Cat litter or baby teeth, or, one of the others. Oh, goodness. All right, pick one. I'm going to go on to the next one so that we can go a little quickly. All right, cat litter. 2 choices. All right. Where would you build a hyperloop to? I don't know what a hyperloop is, but I assume it means that I can go there and back very quickly. So the Lincoln Memorial, the center of a foaming bath bomb, Tokyo, Japan, and airplane bathroom, a cornfield, or my favorite Italian restaurant. If this is kind of like teleporting and I can just like go to that place and back instantaneously, I'm going airplane bathroom because that means that I can go wherever that plane is going. But if you guys want to do one of the others, that's weird. Maybe one of you really likes corn. That's cool. The Italian food thing was tempting. Lincoln Memorial? Okay. You like DC? Oh, we were in DC together, Ryan. Okay, Lincoln. All right. You guys aren't buying my airplane bathroom idea, but that's okay. Finally, hire a cyborg nanny. Yes. Hyperloop is a magnetic transportation underground that is really fast. Oh, so it's like a super fast like subway. Yeah, I would probably pick the Lincoln Memorial if that were the case as well. Okay, but we need a cyborg nanny. Terminator, amazing. I have no idea who or what a Marissa is, but it looks kind of like the Will Smith movie, iRobot, maybe. Oh, that's right, Ryan wasn't in DC. I always just kind of assume. Poor choices, Ryan, poor choices. But JC wasn't there either, so there we go. You guys are in it together. Inspector Gadget, Clutch. No idea what a Dwayne is or any of these people. The answer for me has to be Terminator or Inspector Gadget. Inspector Gadget's a little bit goofy. I'm going Terminator. That would be my choice. Oh, I almost recommended another movie that I should not be allowed to recommend. You guys are sophomores in high school. You can watch The Terminator, maybe. Haven't watched it recently enough to know how bad it is, but it's kind of good. Okay. But let's see your choices. Terminator, Inspector Gadget, or one of these randos. Terminator, I guess. All right. We got RF19ZZ. There we go. Like ZZ Top. That's good. I feel like FN128. I forget what Finn's number is in Star Wars, but I feel like we're kind of Finn from the new Star Wars. All right. Let's see here. Looks like I'm crashing-ish a little. Oh. My phone's like rapidly dying. I guess I unplugged it for some reason. And that's not good when I'm streaming from it. I have no idea what it means, Ryan, but it's kind of like, yeah, I don't know what it's kind of like. You have to look up what they actually named their child. It was even weirder than that. The like symbol with the, oh, I can draw it here in a minute. I'll draw the symbol that they named their kid. Let's see here. Oh yeah, that was next. I almost skipped right to the lesson. I almost forgot that we need to make sure that we introduce our guest. Be our guest. Our guest worship leader for today is... Where'd it go? There it is. Griffin and Cameron. Griffin and Cameron were the people who agreed to lead us in worship today. So I will pass it on over to them. We'll see how this goes since I'm streaming from my phone again, but you know, we can do what we can do. Let's see here. And they wanted to do Every Praise. So here is Griffin and Cameron with Every Praise, and we got our slides, so we'll sing along.
1, 2, ready, go. Every praise is to our God. Every word of worship with one accord. Every praise is to our God. Sing hallelujah to our God. Glory, hallelujah is to our God. Every praise our God. Every word of worship with one accord. Every praise is to our God. Sing, brother, tell him something. Hallelujah, our God. Every word of worship. Okay, all right, the spirit moving. Every praise. Tell him what. Every praise. All right, our God. God, my Savior. God, my healer. God, my deliverer. Yes, He is. Yes, He is. God, my Savior. Now we get it funky. God, my healer. God, my deliverer. This one going out for all the people back at home in quarantine. You know it's GNC about to bring the good news to you. We want to tell you all that we hope that you stay encouraged. And even though the devil's knocking, we want you to keep your head up. We want you to keep moving. We want you to feel the Spirit. We want every single praise going right to our God. And we're going to say, I said every single praise, every word of worship. Yeah, we bringing it back home. And now we say,
Oh, that was awesome, and that was so Griffin-y. If you guys got to know Griffin when he was still in high school, that is the Griffin that we know and love. And great job, Cameron, one of our first actual still active youth, but soon to be an alumni, to appear in the videos. And Griffin doesn't usually sing. That was really fun to see Griffin sing. Really appreciate that, guys. Thank you so much for doing that. So good. All right. So we are going to jump into our lesson next. And this is the thing that hopefully you saw either in the email or Snapchat, or not Snapchat, Instagram story, all that. Hopefully you saw that you need a piece of paper and 2 different colors of pens. So if you don't have that yet, go, run, find it. A piece of paper and 2 different color pens is what you need. And we are going to do a little exercise, kind of like the 10 balloons, but not totally like the 10 balloons. So let's make me little for this. And we are going to do something that I call life graphs. And it's something that I've just found to be really helpful in my own life to do every once in a while. I think I first did it in seminary. It feels like I've known this for longer than that, but I think we did it for a seminary class. And yeah, it was really helpful. So what we're going to do is pretty simple. On your piece of paper, I have it turned sideways. You'll probably want as much length as you can get on this bad boy. But go ahead and turn it sideways and grab one of your colors of pen, doesn't really matter which. And you're basically going to do a line graph from one side of the piece of paper to another. Let's make sure you can see mine. Yep, cool. I'm going to make it a little bit thicker since my internet's being a little... no, I'm not. I'm going back to this one. Hopefully you guys will be able to see it. But basically, for the first line that we're going to do, like timeline of your life, want to graph out how joyful you were during that time, how happy you were during that time. If you would consider it a good point of your life or a not so great point in your life. So kind of the middle of the page will be 0, like meh. The line of meh. That's the new thing. I'm starting it. Will be in the middle of your page. So I'm going to start out with Life Zero over here. And I had a really happy childhood as far as I know. And elementary school, I really liked elementary school, so I'm going to go up a little bit. And then middle school, not the greatest. Like, it wasn't bad, but just like, I didn't enjoy middle school. I don't know if it was like, I don't know, just wasn't a big fan. Then 8th grade got really tough. That's when the stuff with my sister Steph started to get pretty real. And had a really rough patch right there. It got better, but it still wasn't great. Then I started high school, and it was better than middle school, but it took me a while to make friends. But then, like, sophomore year got a little better. Junior year got real good. I'm going like way up. It was one of the happiest times of my life, and so was senior year. Just really enjoyed that time of high school. There was some tough stuff going on at times, but overall, just really, really enjoyed my junior and senior year of high school especially. I had some really good friends, was on the swim team, all that good stuff. And then if you notice a trend, things go down when I start new things. So the beginning of college was kind of meh. Are we around that meh line? Yeah, we're kind of near that meh line. Just because it takes me a while to make friends. And so it kind of got a little better through freshman year and then sophomore year. Junior year, though, got like way up there again. And loved junior year. But then this is when I had a girlfriend who I was really super serious about, and she dumped me. I've shared that story before. So we go down real sharp. That was a really tough time for me. But luckily, bounced back pretty quick. We'll go like up pretty high again. Yeah, senior year was great. I don't know if it was really that good of a upward curve, but we bounced back. I bounced back and had a really good senior year. Again, then we're going to go and start seminary, so I got to go back down again. And it was, again, just kind of one of those things where it was good, but I had to make friends, and that was kind of hard. And then, let's see here. Yeah, it started to get better. I met some friends who I really liked. They were really good roommates. I had a job that I liked. Not as good as high school or junior and senior year undergrad, but, it's still pretty good. Let's see here. Then started my first job, and it was good. We'll go around elementary school good level. It was really hard work, but I was really enjoying it. But then it got kind of worse and worse. I've told this story before. And then I got fired / let go for not being a good fit. And it was a hard time, but it was a very short time. And I bounced back pretty darn quick from that. And then I got my job at Orange and moved to Chapel Hill. And it was really good. I had a really good friend who lived here. I really enjoyed learning the new town. But the first 2 or 3 years were really hard. So there were some issues that I had to deal with that were really challenging and difficult to me personally and spiritually. And it was tough, but then it started to get better. And then it started to get better. And then I had another tough year, but that was also the year that I met Elin. And so I definitely have to go up higher there. And yeah, we'll keep going up higher because things at work got to be going really well too. And then Elin and I had a little bit of a rough patch in our relationship, and that was hard. but we got over that pretty quick. And then we got married, and then we got a house, and then we got a dog, and things at church are still going really well. So like, I feel like I'm up here right now. I'm living large. So this is our life graph. This is my life graph. The time I did this to practice, I totally ran out of room, and like from here to here was like all in 1 inch over on the side of the screen, so I didn't smush through this time. So I'm very proud of myself. I know it's difficult to kind of watch mine and listen to mine and do your own at the same time, but I want you to try to do your own life graph here, knowing a couple of things. First of all is I know that yours may not be like as dramatic as mine with so many ups and downs, but hey, I've lived, well, it's mainly Ryan and JC and mystery person, but like 2 to 3 times longer than you. If you're a middle schooler, like 3 times as long. And if you told me to do this in middle school, though mine is relatively smooth now for like the middle school part, where is the middle school part? It would not have been that way. Like, here's my middle school. I guess it's not super smooth, but like, it would have looked like this graph altogether if you asked me just for my middle school years back then. And I think the reasons for that is that as we grow older, we get perspective on our own lives. And that's part of the reason that I want to do this, to help you get a perspective on your life, where you've been, what your life has been like, and where you're going to go from here. I think this is really helpful because experience can help give you perspective. There are things that seem big now, or things that seemed big then and are now just kind of blips on the radar now that we've experienced higher highs and lower lows. I've talked with you guys about my best friend Steve, who I grew up with all the time. And I remember there was a time in middle school where we had this big fight about the score of a soccer game. He always beat me. And I was finally winning. And then we totally disagreed, and he said that he won. And I was like, no, I finally won. And like, we actually got seriously mad at one another. And in the moment, that just seemed like a huge deal. But now that I've lived more life, I know that that's not really a big deal, even though in the moment it seemed that way. And not just experience, but just kind of time itself can help give us perspective. Like, these things happened a long time ago. If I had kept like a daily diary back then and I had a fight with Steve, I would have been really upset and thought it was a huge deal because, you know, at the time it was. Steve was really important to me, and I was unsure if our friendship would make it through. That would have been like devastating to me. But now I know that we made it through, and it's just not something that I think about anymore. So over time, I think things smooth out. So like my childhood time, which like that little portion is probably like 10 or 12 years worth of time, so it should actually be way longer. But it was just like, yeah, I was happy. It was fine. There's no like ups and downs there, but it was a long time ago. I just straight up don't remember the ups and downs then. So like your 1 to 6 years old are probably the smoothest part of your timeline because you don't remember the day to day or even the month to month or even like year to year. Like when you were 2 years old, was it better than you were when you were 4 years old? For me now, I hop to like, it's hard to remember if like 9 was any better than 14. It's kind of hard to do because it was a long time ago. But time also helps us contextualize things based on what the rest of our life has looked like. So I've sorted the big events that happened in middle school, and I kind of tell it in a way that I think fits the overall picture of what my life was like then. It's harder to do that for like the past 5-ish years in my life because like I can't really compare them to the rest of my life yet because they just seem so fresh. I feel like I'm still like in that chapter of the story, so I don't know the whole thing, so I can't really wrap it up well. So this part of my story is kind of difficult to contextualize still. I hope that makes sense. All that to say, like, yours may be a lot more simple than mine. That's okay. What's important is just you kind of map out your life how the way you really feel it is. Cool. So that should be your life map. Now, hopefully you brought a second color, and I'm going to go to red here. You would be surprised how long it took me to figure out that's how to change my pen color in this program. Not good. Okay, so with this red one, I want you to map out how your relationship with God was, and try to kind of use your life timeline, your life graph, to help you put the time in there too. So hopefully it'll make sense as I begin to do my own. So I'm going to start with, if this is like the meh line right here, my relationship with God has to start kind of down here, because it was fine. I'm talking like ages 0 to 5-ish here. I went to church. My parents brought me to church. I think I believed in God, but I don't really know. But I do remember at around age 6-ish, I still remember praying to God for the first time, and saying, look, God, I understand that I sin, that I do things that are wrong, and that you love me, and that you died for me, and I want you to be a part of my life. I remember doing that prayer. It was during a Christmas Eve service at my home church. They've built a big new sanctuary since then, and it was like in the old thing that's now the fellowship hall. Anyway, memories. But that's when I first started to have a relationship with God at all. So I feel like that kind of brings me to the meh line. And then it was like good, I guess. I don't really remember again, so we'll say that I keep on that track. And here's where we hit middle school, right? This downturn I remember was the stuff with Steph. And the stuff with Steph at first was really difficult for me. But then that's when I first learned that I could kind of go to God myself in times of trouble. And that was super helpful. Not all the way, but it kind of mirrored this pretty well. This kind of upward trend where my relationship with God got better as I started to take it more seriously and kind of take it on myself. But still not great. So this is the beginning of high school. Let's see here, what was this? Oh yeah, this was like junior and senior year of high school. I kind of plateaued for this part. And then at the beginning of college, like my relationship with God was still kind of the same. But then it kind of went down a little bit. I was struggling with some issues in my own life, like that I was never going to be good enough for God and a lot of these other things. And I kind of had some ups and downs. This was a kind of shaky, turbulent time. I felt really close to God at some point and like really far away from him at others. Oh, actually, wait, I forgot a big one. I felt called to ministry at some point in here. That was a big one. And that part, I felt really close to God at that point. But then I kind of had these turbulent times. So we'll take this as my new trajectory here. So I felt really close to God when I felt like he was calling me to ministry, but then I felt like I hit some challenges really close to that. And then I had this point that was really difficult. And I was mad at God briefly, but then in this time, I really relied on him and like leaned in hard on my relationship with God. And that was one of the times I felt closest to God in my entire life. And that lasted for a while, probably halfway through senior year, before it started to tail off a little bit. Let's see here. This was seminary. So seminary was another kind of turbulent time. It's kind of weird. You would think I would be really close to God when I was in, God school. But there were times where I felt really near and times that I felt really far away. And let's see here. So that's all seminary. Okay, that's a lot of turbulence. Maybe that's not super accurate, but it's hard on the computer. Then I started my first job, and I felt pretty close to God there. This was a good point in my life, too. Here's where I got fired from my first job, and it was down a little, but like kind of bounced right back up pretty quickly. Let's see here. Things were going really good at Orange, and then this part was really difficult for me, and I struggled. I questioned God quite a bit right here, but overall, stuck with him, or I should say, he stuck with me. And then things started to get better. Let's see here. I kind of made a breakthrough around here with God and started to rely on him a little bit more consistently through here. And then stayed up here, and oddly enough, like this little, I've been really strong recently. If this little like end here is quarantine, again, I'm not saying this just to say it, but the Luke Devos, like, I feel really good with God right now. So like, I'm on an upswing. So that is the life graph thing. I know that was probably way more information about my life, but hopefully that helped you fill out your own. And for hopefully Ryan and JC are still here at least, I want to go through some of our discussion questions right now, which is a little bit earlier than we usually do, but that's okay. So I want to, let's see here. There we go. Let's see if I did that right. Yeah. And actually, let's see if I can make... Oh, sorry, guys. I know this is very exciting to watch. I didn't plan this part of the little thingy out super well. Oops. Let's see if this gives me the thing I want. There we go. All right, so now we can look at the questions and my life graph at the same time. But I want you guys to type in your questions, or else it's just going to be me talking over myself all the time. And how much fun is that? So how do your two graphs relate to one another? When your life graph goes down, so for me, when my black line goes down, does your God graph go up, or does it also go down? When your life is up, does your God graph go up? What causes, so how do these two things correlate? So if you look at mine, when my black lines go down early in my life, the red line goes down too. But later in life, as you look at the black line, that's actually when my red line goes up. So when life is hardest, that's when I feel closest to God. Yours may not do that, but that's what mine did. It feels like the more that I relied on God, or the closer I grew in my relationship with him, the more I was able to rely on him in the difficult times. And that, as I think over it, makes a whole lot of sense. But for you, that may not be the case. It could be that when your black line goes down, your red line goes down too. That's okay. This isn't like a judge yourself thing. This is a learn about yourself thing. So what about times of joy? When you're like doing really well, is your God line also go up? For me, it looks like it wasn't always the case. I was really happy here and kind of like with God. Same here. There was a really big high point, and my relationship with God was just kind of and here they do correlate. So I don't know, just kind of things to look at with your own graph. What are some things that you can take away? So let's see here. What causes your God graph to go down? For me, it looks like it's kind of times when I get complacent, when I feel like life is just kind of doing fine and I don't need to pay attention to God. I don't. So it seems like that's when my line goes down. Let's see here. which graph has more peaks and valleys? Is one more consistent than the other? So this is one that hopefully you guys can put in the chat. Which graph has more peaks and valleys? Which one is more consistent? Consistent than the other? For mine, my black line has a lot more peaks and valleys. It's more volatile. I made there be like a lot of little ones in here, but like overall, like big peaks and valleys, definitely my black line. Yeah. So my red line is more consistent. It's not total, it's not like a completely linear increase, but like if you mapped it overall, it looks like it would kind of be an overall increase. So that's good, I guess. So what do you guys think? Put that in the chat if you've got it. Here's another question to think about. Do you think we're in control of our God graphs at all? Or is it just up to the circumstances surrounding our lives? In other words, like, do we have control over the red line in our graphs? Or is it just as simple as, hey, once my relationship with God, grew to a kind of a mature stage around this point, is it just totally reliant on the other things happening in my life? Or can I, if I tend to be a person who doesn't rely on God when the difficult things are happening, can I consciously make the choice to try to change that and try to make my relationship with God a good thing during the difficult times? Or is it just kind of like, no, that's the way we are, that's the way our relationship with God is. Our red line has to depend on the black line. I don't think so. I don't think that our red line has to rely on our black line at all. I think that's part of being human, is that, we are affected by that. But I think our relationship with God can continue to grow no matter what is happening in our lives. Whether good things are happening, whether bad things are happening, that red line can continue to go up. Let's see here. What's our next question? I keep doing that. Oh yeah, we did talk about that. Was there anything that happened in your life that you thought was a huge deal at the time, but now you realize that it wasn't really? So my example of this was that fight that I got in with my friend Steve over soccer. I now know that that was not really a big deal, but in the moment, it seemed like a huge deal. And do you think that diminishes what you felt in that moment? I don't think so. I think I can both say, you know what, that really wasn't a big deal, but also kind of put myself back in that situation and remember why I felt the way that I felt, and to know that that pain was real. I don't think it diminishes that. I think that they can both actually be true. So how might that help the way that you handle similar situations in the future? Now that I've experienced some peaks and valleys, some up and downs, I think that I can appreciate. I think that I can better understand and realize that I think I can better judge what is actually a big deal and what is not, and kind of help myself control my emotions a little bit better. And to use that perspective that both time and experience has given me, so that I can handle the tough times a little bit better. All right. Was there anything that you thought was a big deal at the time and it really was significant, but just because of time passing, it doesn't affect you as much? Yes. So for me, going back to the graph, what would be a big example of that? Probably this one here in college. It was a very significant life event. It's the lowest I've ever felt, apparently, based on this. I don't know if that's totally true. That's pretty dramatically lower than the rest, but it was definitely a big low point and a significant turning point in my life. But it's been a long time ago. I've processed those feelings. I've dealt with them, and so because of that, I can think back to that time, and if like I put myself in that situation again, I can feel those feelings. I know what I was going through then, but I don't have to actively feel them now. So that's something that was a big deal, but I can deal with now. So this is the big question, and this is the one that I want us to look at as we move forward, and that's, does God ever leave us? Does God ever leave us? Hopefully Sunday school answer, no. God is always there with us, and why I think that needs to be one of the big takeaways from this exercise is that we don't always feel that way in the moment. When we're down here, sometimes we feel alone. A lot of these ups and downs here, when I was in seminary and back here in undergrad, was because I wasn't sure if God was there. I felt that he was absent. I couldn't feel his presence, and I doubted whether he was there for me or not. But what I learned when I turned to him, every time I turned to him in difficult times or in good times, it was that he's there. He's there to help me through the difficult times. He's there to share in the joys with me. No matter when I turn to him, every time when I do, he proves himself to be there with me. And I think that is a huge, huge, important lesson. And unfortunately, it's also one of those lessons that I can say, but you guys really need to be able to experience to really feel that and understand that. So let me get rid of this guy here and make me little. Ha, I'm back. Hi, guys. So going forward, there are a few takeaways that I want from this. Even though you guys put nothing in the chat, I trust that you're still listening and you're just working very hard on your graphs and studying them very closely. And that's that. As I was thinking about this exercise, it came to mind for a number of things. But what came to mind was our new vision statement for Orange. Hopefully you've started to hear Pastor David say it, especially he puts it in there almost every sermon. I said Pastor David. Pastor Adam. It says David on the screen. That's my excuse. Pastor Adam's been saying it a lot in his sermons, and that's that at Orange we are a church that helps people find their place in God's story. At Orange we are a church that helps people find their place in God's story. And I think that's super important because that means finding out that you are a beloved child of God, because that is who you are. That is how you fit in God's story. But sometimes in order to find your place in God's story, we need to see him in our own. So that's what the point of this exercise is all about. Seeing that God is with you the entire time, no matter what is going on in your life, God is still with you. The other reason that I thought about this exercise, again, is due to my little foray into the Old Testament that I talked about last week. But it's also because the pastors have been talking about our next sermon series, and we decided to do one on the life of David. Not David Boss, King David, like it says in the screen behind my head, because I forgot that you can't see the lower right corner of my screen when I made that slide. Details. So King David is going to be what our next sermon series is about. And some of you maybe remember from 3 to 4 years ago when we actually did an entire spring on David in Sunday school, where we studied the book of 1 Samuel. It talks about King Saul and King David. Anyway, David's life was crazy, and it was absolutely full of ups and downs. He had like a good childhood as far as we know. He seemed to have a loving father with lots of siblings, and he was doing fine. So that's kind of the beginning of his life graph. But then Saul came to town, David defeated Goliath, and actually, Saul anointed David as the next king. And then David defeated Goliath, and he went to live with Saul, and he became best friends with Jonathan, and so he lived with his best friend and his friend's adoring father. And then Saul got jealous to the point that he wanted to kill David. It got that bad, but then Saul would kind of like relent and like kind of go back to normal a little bit, and David's life would get a little bit better. And then Saul would get jealous again because like David would win a great victory or something, and Saul would want him dead again. So like some definite zigzags in that point. And it gets to the point where Saul like is actually trying to hunt David down and have him killed. So David has to flee and go on the run and hide from Saul so that he can't be killed. Eventually, Saul dies in battle, and David takes over as king. So you would think, like, big crazy high there, big mountaintop experience where he is. But even when he becomes king, there's some major ups and downs in David's life. He has some really big highs where he wins some major victories over his enemies. He gains riches. He's adored by his people. He has a close relationship with God. But there are also some major lows. He commits adultery, and he has somebody killed so that he can commit adultery with that guy's wife. He has spans where he doesn't trust God. He loses his son. He has some really difficult times as well. And if you read about David's crazy life in 1st and 2nd Samuel, then you get this picture of David as an incredible guy who is just super mentally strong and has great faith in God that never wavered, because 1st and 2nd Samuel takes this kind of big picture view, and you just see the life events, and it just seems like David stayed so strong through all of these ups and downs. But you know where else you learn a lot about David? In the Psalms. Many of the Psalms were written about David, and these are poems or songs, and most of them describe some deep, powerful emotions. Some of them portray incredible joy, others some really deep anguish, where David is crying out to God because of the pain and sorrow and anxiety. So David's life graph had like the ups and downs, but if you just look at that, you would think that David is like some extraordinary guy for all of the things that he dealt with and all of the things that he went through. But even the smooth parts in his graph aren't as smooth as they seem. If you look at the Psalms, kind of his daily diary that goes beyond the surface level events that are happening, you see a more accurate picture of who David was. You see that he's not really an extraordinary man, but he had faith in an extraordinary God. Whether the world around him seemed to be crumbling or he was full of immense joy, David's poems are still always focused on God. If anything about David was extraordinary, it was his faith, that he didn't hide anything from God, that whenever something was going on in his life, he was focused on God. He was focused on the red line instead of on the black line. He's asking God for strength and protection, or he's venting his anxieties and pain, or he's giving him thanks for the joy in his life. David understood one thing fully, that God is always with us, that he is in our story. He never stops loving us. God never leaves us on our own. No matter what is going on in the world around us, God is there. And it's us who needs to reach out. It's us who needs to remember that he's there with us. And we need to connect with him. We need to focus less on the black line and more on the red line. So I want to end today by looking at Psalm 40, because I think it's a great example of David reaching out to God no matter what was going on in his life. This is one of those Psalms that I think is really helpful to describe what David was going through. So again, this is Psalm 40. I skipped a couple of verses just so I'm not reading for 3 minutes. Again, this is David speaking. I waited patiently for the Lord. He turned to me and heard my cry. He lifted me out of the slimy pit, out of the mud and the mire. He set my feet on a rock and gave me a firm place to stand. He put a new song in my mouth, a hymn of praise to our God. Many will see and fear the Lord and put their trust in him. So here we see David in the hard times, where he was crying out, where he was in the slimy pit, where he turned to God. And then also, when his life got better, he sang a song of hymn and praise to the Lord. Blessed is the one who trusts in the Lord, who does not look to the proud, to those who turn aside to false gods. Many, Lord my God, are the wonders that you have done, the things that you have planned for us. None can compare to you. Were I to speak and tell of your deeds, they would be too many to declare. So some people turn to false gods, to other things. But David, what did make him extraordinary was the way that he kept faith in God. Sacrifice and offering you did not desire, but my fears you have opened. Burnt offerings and sin offerings you did not require. Then I said, here I am. I have come. It is written about me in the scroll. I desire to do your will, my God. Your law is within my heart. So here David is saying, like, it's not about like the religious symbols and practices. It's about actually having his heart in it. What God wanted was not these actions. What God wanted was when David said, okay, here I am. Like, I desire to do your will. Let me do what you want me to do. It's about you, God, not about me. When David went to God openly, that's what God wanted. And that's what God wants from us too. So here we are, verse 11. Do not withhold your mercy from me, Lord. May your love and faithfulness always protect me. For troubles without number surround me. My sins have overtaken me, and I cannot see. They are more than the hairs on my head, and my heart fails within me. Be pleased to save me, Lord. Come quickly, Lord, to help me. Here again, David admits that he's a sinful person, that he's dealing with stuff, that he is not doing well, and he just cries out to God to come and save him and be with him. Last part here. But may all who seek you rejoice and be glad in you. May those who long for your saving help always say, the Lord is great. But as for me, I am poor and needy. May the Lord think of me. You are my help and my deliverer. You are my God. Do not delay. Here again, David ends with, I think, something that really represents his heart, saying that, like, yeah, I rejoice when you are with me, but it's only when you're with me that I can have joy. And in that moment, I need to say that you are great, but I need to also recognize that I'm not much. I'm poor and needy. I need you. So please be with me. So what we see here is David really admitting and calling out, I need you, God. I want you to be a part of my life. David is somebody who focuses on the red line. It doesn't matter if the black line is going up or down. He is focused on God no matter what. So I hope this exercise was helpful for you guys. It's something that I think has been helpful for me in my own life to help get some of that perspective. And yeah, focus on the red line, not on the black line. If you guys have any questions, go ahead and put those bad boys in the chat. If you have any prayer requests, put those in the chat now too, and we will go ahead and pray and then head on out. I will start to pray, put those in the chat, and we'll go from there. Dear God, we thank you so much for this time together this evening. We pray that you would help us gain perspective on our lives, where we've been, the ups and the downs, and to help us see how you've been there with us all along. Help us understand how we are part of your story. We know that you have been a part of our story. Help us see that. Help us see the ways that you've been there with us through the good and the bad. And let that be the faith-giving thing that we can have to accept with confidence that you love us like your children, that you died for us, that even when we were in the muck and the mire of our own sin, that you came to save us and be there with us and love us and bring us out of that. So in our good times, help us remember to give you praise and rejoice. And in this time, God, we pray, checking on comments, pray for AP exams. They're starting up this week. We pray for those who are starting to take those exams in the next few weeks. Give them the concentration that they need, the willpower that they need to continue to study and to perform well. It is not normal circumstances for those things, God. So we pray that you would really be with the students as they're taking those exams. And God, of course, we pray for everything going on in our world. We pray that you would help heal it, to bring an end to the spread of the coronavirus, to give us a vaccine, to eradicate it, to give our leaders wisdom as our world begins to, it looks like, open up a little bit. So we pray that you would give us wisdom in a way to do that protects the safety and the lives of everyone. But God, we so desire to be in one another's presence again physically, so we pray that you would just make that possible safely as soon as godly possible, because I miss having our time together. It's in your name we pray. Amen. Cool. All right, everybody, thank you for joining us. Make sure that you spoil your mothers. And we will see you next week. So have a good week. Don't forget to sign up for Zoom chats, and hopefully I will see you then. Have a good one.